Welcome back. Today I want to talk about the algorithm that is our reality. Stick with me, it'll make more sense. Kind of like the belly button video. If that doesn't make sense to you, go back and find my belly button video. It'll make more sense. I stumbled across a book the other day. It's called The Simulation Hypothesis. And that's, without getting into too much detail, based around an MIT computer scientist's analysis of what our reality is, what our life is, compared to quantum mechanics and computer programming, and how his hypothesis is that we're living in a simulation. And there's a lot of information out on the internet where people agree with this. I'm not here to talk about that. What I am here to talk about is the algorithm of our reality. We're all a part of social media, clearly. And we build up the algorithm that we interact with and we see brick by brick. The more we interact with it, the more we ask, questions to Google, that goes into our algorithm. The more we type in some type of search query in Facebook or TikTok or Instagram, that stuff builds in that database for us that's personalized to us. And that's the stuff that we see when we share something with a friend. That all adds to the algorithm. And our reality in the day-to-day world that we live in is equally algorithmic. We have the ability, just like in our social media platforms, to audit the things that we interact with on a daily basis. It doesn't alter it for everybody. We don't have to alter it for everybody. But if we're in a part of our lives where we feel like things are stagnant, nothing's changing, or we feel like we're surrounded by a lot of negativity, or that we have personal issues with ourselves, the reality that we're a part of, that we have control over, all those details of things that we may not be happy with, things that are bringing grief and trouble to our lives, stagnation we may be experiencing, we can alter that algorithm. We can make small changes, small interactions in the day-to-day world, in our outside world, that bring back alterations to the situations we're in. We can add things into our lives by starting to learn something new. We can remove things from our lives, people, places, bad habits that we may have. Those are all things that we are completely within the control of, as long as we're talking about just ourselves. We're not in control of anybody else's reality, just our own. And say it's just a problem that you've got in your life that you're not sure how to approach, and you feel like it's an impossible task. Well, maybe it's an impossible task if you consider it that way. It's impossible. But instead of it being impossible, you alter the algorithm. What result do you want? What result would you like to get out of it? Because the action that you put into that problem will yield a result. And the more that you actually put in that action, the more likely that result will be a byproduct of what you've done. So our reality is just a series of things that we either don't audit and hold on to, maybe old cycles that we've maintained for a long period of time, things from our past that we just think are us, but we're not happy with those things. Well, our algorithm doesn't have to stay that way. Just as easily as we can audit the algorithm of Instagram and change the feed that we get because maybe we don't like the content it's giving us, we're just as capable with our lives in the day-to-day world. There's no reason that it has to stay the same, and we can change the inputs that we get. We can change our environment. We are the masters of our own reality. The only time that we feel like we aren't is when we do not take control of it, when we don't realize that all the results that we're seeking can be a direct reflection of the action that we put into it and the things that we change for ourselves. So if the algorithm of your life is something that you're not happy with, change it. Start to add things, start to remove things. I'm not telling anybody to quit a job or move across the country drastically or leave a family or a relationship. I mean, if those are problems that you have, address them, in the best way possible, or whatever you feel is the best way for you to approach that. But learn something new. Try a new music on your drive to work. Pick up a new hobby. Maybe look into moving. But all these things that you can start to add into your life and remove from your life if they are bad habits or people, sometimes friends. Maybe they're relationships that need boundaries established or reestablished or altered. Maybe they're boundaries with yourself that you need to realize you're doing things that you don't actually accept from yourself, that are worsening your situation. Just like you have control of the algorithm of your social media platform, you have control of the algorithm of your reality. You are the master of your own reality around you. Nobody else's, but yours. You are able to alter that and add and remove anything you want to bring in the positivity or the growth or the evolution that you're looking for yourself, and to remove problems that you may have. The outcome will be a direct result of the action that you put into it and the ways that you choose to alter your algorithm. So if you're feeling like you want to change it up, add some things to it. Change some of the inputs you get. Surround yourself with people that align with things that you may be interested in or things that you want to do differently. You'll start to realize that the reality around you, the world around you, starts to shift. It's not just your social media algorithm you can change. You can change the algorithm of your reality. Hope that helped. Have a good night. I hope it all made sense.